What is going on, guys? It is your boy Ollie Footy back with another World Cup recap. And man, what a day of action. Obviously, a huge result for South Africa, beating South Korea 1-0. Huge win for Bafana Bafana, directly qualifying for the round of 32. Elsewhere in Group B, Bosnia pretty much securing qualification. 4 points should be enough to get through as a third place side. Switzerland, big win against Canada, going up as the Group B winner. Canada second place. And then as well in Group A, we can't forget about Mexico. L3, big result versus Czechia, getting a huge win and going through as Group A winners, winning 3-0. And Group C, Morocco 4, Haiti 2. What a game. We'll get into that. And Scotland, decimated by Brazil. Scotland might be on the brink, guys. But let's get into it. But before we get into it, man, make sure you follow. Make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe. All of my links are down in the description. Just hit it one time, hit that follow, and come back to this video. You know the deal. But yeah, let's get into this now. I'll open up the file mob as per usual. And let's start with Group A. All right, we'll go in alphabetical order. I'll be real. I didn't watch this game that much. Because South Africa and South Korea, for me, that was the real 6-pointer. However, big win for Mexico. I mean, you just see some of the goals. They put some pressure on Czechia. Czechia couldn't handle it, and Mexico scores. And I think that, man, when you watch those goals and you see how that stadium shakes, that home field advantage is huge. It's huge, man. It takes Mexico to a different level. Okay, like no matter how good of a side you are, going up against a home crowd, going away, it is one of the toughest things to do. Right? You'll see it constantly in club football when better teams go lose on the road because that stadium is just such a cauldron, bro. It's tough to play against a home crowd, tough to play when a team has such good home support. And yeah, Mexico going to the round of 32. Whoever faces them, oof, oof. Now let's get to the big takeaway of today's games. South Africa, Bafana 1-0 versus South Korea. Goal by Maseko. Man, South Africa, when you think about how they started this tournament, they were poor versus Mexico. So poor. 2 red cards. Everyone was, hyping up African football this tournament, saying, man, it's nice to see Egypt, Algeria, Senegal, these teams, well, not Senegal, hold on, but these teams show up, right? Morocco. These teams show up and give people games and really fight. Ghana, Ivory Coast, the list goes on and on. Cabo Verde. However, South Korea was not in that list. But now, all of a sudden, after a poor match day 1 with 2 red cards, 2 bad goals, a bad 2-0 defeat, and all of a sudden, you are qualifying directly for the round of 32 with 4 points. Incredible toughness, grit, resilience from Bafana Bafana, and well deserved. On the other side, South Korea, underwhelming to say the least. Now, you started off well with a great win versus Czechia. Nice comeback win. But man, you should have beat Mexico. I think South Korea were better than Mexico, but Mexico were just more clinical in a sense. Obviously, South Korea just committed a bad error in that game, and Mexico pounced. But South Korea should have left that game with points. And now you show up to the South Africa game. And for me, South Korea just were not convincing enough. I can't say they deserved the 3 points here. I can't say South Korea were largely the better team. Yeah, they had more possession. Yeah, they had more, final third touches. But when they were having the ball, they weren't creating much things with urgency, with clear cut chances until maybe the end where everything picks up and now you're starting to really get the pressure and you realize the weight of the situation more and whatnot. But at that point, it's too late. It's too late, and honestly, deserved L for South Korea. Is that crazy to say? And yeah, I know they took a big, risk benching Son. I didn't think it was that big of a risk, but I mean, look at the lineup here. It's still a lot of talent, man. Oh, lots of talent. Hee Huang Chan, lots of talent. Obviously, Lee King In, so talented for PSG. But you should be beating South Africa, just considering the talent on this team. So they weren't convincing enough, and they paid for it. And now They're in third place. Whew, they're playing with fire, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling you they're playing with fire. This third place, you're on 3 points with -1 goal difference. That might not be enough. It might just not be enough. It might just be enough too, but it is so tight. It is so tight. We'll take a look at the third place table really quickly. And my gosh, South Korea are in fourth place right now. Cool. But when you look at some of these upcoming matches for other third place teams, you might be thinking, man, they might not make it, South Korea. Obviously, Croatia have to go face Ghana, which I think Croatia could win. So that'll put them on 4 points. Right, that'll move them up. Sweden and Japan is close. Who knows? If Sweden win that game, all of a sudden Japan is in this table with 4 points. That pushes South Korea down. Algeria and Austria, that's obviously a weird matchup. We'll get to that later in the bracket view. But whether whoever wins that or doesn't, that can maybe mess some things up. If they draw, all of a sudden you have 4 points, they go up ahead of you, right? Same with Belgium versus New Zealand. Belgium, if they're still in this table, by the way, it depends how that group shakes out. But if Belgium are in third place, all of a sudden that's 5 points. You know what I'm saying? Like now, like South Korea is where? Like, so there's a lot of, and obviously Congo, Ecuador, Senegal, all talented teams that could still end up finishing third place. Senegal could end up on 3 points, and if they win by a lot versus Iraq, right? If they get to 3-0, all of a sudden that's a better goal difference than South Korea. Or if they win by 2-0, you have the same goal difference, but Senegal have scored more goals. So, like, oof, bro, South Korea, my goodness, what have they done to themselves? But it's deserved. They weren't convincing enough for me. Thoroughly deserved win for Bafana Bafana. And yeah, South Korea, very, very tight. I want to see more from them. Let's see if they wake up in the round of 32, if they even make it there. Let's go to Group B. This one didn't watch too much either. I think Bosnia were always going to win. Qatar at the World Cup, you know what I mean? That's all you can do. Man, they've been taking it on the chin. My goodness. But Bosnia basically secure qualification to the round of 32 with 4 points. And that is bye-bye for Qatar. Switzerland and Canada. This was a nice game to watch, man. Back and forth stalemate in the first half. And then Switzerland come out in the second half blazing. Instant goal from Vargas. And then they add on to it with the Monzambi goal, who's been killing it this World Cup. Him and Vargas. But now, after the hydration break, Promise David comes in and instantly makes an impact for Canada. And, Canada are at home in Vancouver. The crowd is cheering. And like I said before, that home field advantage is so huge, man. But Switzerland were able to hang on. So we got to give credit to Switzerland for that. Canada just didn't have enough, unfortunately. And now Canada are qualified for the round of 32, as well as Switzerland. But Switzerland is in first place. Canada is in second place. Bosnia is in third place for this group. And we'll take a look at the bracket later. But we'll see what this means for Canada. Because like I was saying, that home field advantage is so important. Now let's finish it off with Group C. Two big games here. Well, too big. This Haiti game didn't have as much danger because Haiti already eliminated. But you know me, as a Haitian American, I love to see my team performing well. And you got to say it, man, we went band for band with the AFCON champs for one half. But we went band to band with them. So that's good. You know what I'm saying? Went band for band with the AFCON champs. And when you consider what Haiti has had to go through, you can't play games at home. We're playing games in Curacao and Aruba, and that's tough, man. Just to qualify for the World Cup is tough, right? Haiti had to go to Honduras and Costa Rica, Nicaragua, tough places to play, man. The CONCACAF trenches, bro. We had to go to the CONCACAF trenches to get to the World Cup in the first place, whilst not playing at home. And then we finally qualify, and that's huge. And for them to be able to come to the US and actually feel some home support for the first time, feel the crowd behind them, especially when you're not playing in Haiti, it feels tough, right? it feels like it's hard to find, the people behind you, right? To feel the real support behind you. But man, shout out to all the Haitians for showing up. Shout out to all the Zoes for showing up for Haiti during this World Cup. And they can be proud, man. That first goal, it was an own goal by Lenny Joseph, but it was a nice finish by sorry, it was an own goal by Bono, but it was a nice finish by Lenny Joseph. And then the second goal by Isidore, one of the goals of the tournament. Absolute bombasso. Bombasso. And now Morocco, incredibly impressive. You can tell why Haiti could only go band for band with them for a half, because this team is so well conditioned, man. Hakimi, just endless lungs, bro. Endless lungs. I mean, if you just watch Hakimi for a match, the amount of runs he makes, it's incredible. I don't understand it. I'm glad that guy's on PSG. You know what I'm saying? Playing against him must be a nightmare. Must be a nightmare. He's just so lightning quick. He was there for that first goal, basically running from right back and then coming in from a back post cut. Like, it was incredible stuff for him. And then Sarbari gets that second goal from a nice. I don't remember who gives him the pass, but it was a nice pass and it's just a easy 1 foot finish, 1 touch finish, and Johnny Placide can't do anything about that. And then eventually the Moroccan quality shows out near the end of the game. Rahimi and Yassine finish it off. And yeah, good win for Morocco, but Haiti can be proud of their journey, especially of all the small teams in the tournament. Your Curaçaos, your Haitis, I'm trying to think, like your Congos, your Ghanas, like the teams who are essentially not usually at the World Cup, right? A lot of them are playing low blocks, and you know what? To their credit, they are in way better situations points wise than Haiti, and they're still in the tournament. However, one thing can be said: Haiti played bravely. For me, I had questions about the lineup, especially versus Scotland. I think Isidore and Joseph are our best two strikers, but I understand also not wanting to discount the work and all of the, time that the old guard put in to get to this tournament as well. Isidore and Joseph, very new to the team, just came on within the last few months. So I understand. But if things could have been different, I think, if we lined up with them up front versus Scotland. However, it is what it is. Haiti is out. Morocco qualifies as the second place team in this group. And the first place team in this group and the third place team in this group faced off as well, Brazil and Scotland. And look, I didn't watch this one too much either because I think I got to watch Haiti, bro. But man, I see some of the goals in here. Vinny is on fire, and he had to tap in, but Vinny is still on fire, man. And it's great to see that one goal for the header. Very good movement from him. But Brazil win pretty easily versus Scotland, and I think really the main story here is not Scotland losing to Brazil. That's one thing for Scotland, but for Scotland to take 3 goals is very, very dangerous. If you thought South Korea were playing risky business, then Scotland must be like on the cliff. Because, my gosh, to take 3 goals, you are now 3 points with -3 goal difference. -3. And we can go take a look at what that third place table looks like. And it's not looking good for Scotland. 7th place on this table. Cabo Verde still yet to play. Belgium, Congo, Ecuador, Senegal. All of these teams are at least as good as Scotland, I think, or better. Way better if you're looking at Ecuador, Senegal, Belgium. But because these teams might get to 3 points or they might get a win, you might actually see different teams in third place in the third place table. So we'll see how that works out. But for Scotland to be so close to the drop zone and so many teams still yet to play, it's not looking good. I might even go ahead and say Scotland should not even expect to qualify. They're essentially in the same boat as South Korea. Your destiny is not in your hands. You are now watching from your training camp saying, man, I hope everyone that we need to win wins. It is like a gambler on a 14 leg parlay. Like, it is, man, I need this person to win. I need this team to win. I need this team. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is what's going to have to happen for Scotland. It is going to be tight. I don't think they'll do it. We'll see what happens. But yeah, you just can't take 3 from Brazil there. You can't. And especially that one goal from Vinny was just so preventable. That one might have that one might have killed him. All right, that is all the groups. Now we can take a look at the bracket. Big bracket. Okay. Germany and Paraguay. I'm kidding, bro. All right. Let's talk about Group A, South Africa. And honestly, this is Group B too. South Africa and Canada are locked in. These teams are both second in their groups. So that is going to be the first game of the round of 32. And look, if I'm talking about chances for both of these teams, for Canada, not sure exactly where this is. I wonder if we can see it on a FOTMob here. This is going to be in LA. LA. So, like I said, home field advantage was huge. Now, there's a bunch of Canadians in America, so it's not that deep, but I think it's still a little bit different. We'll see what happens. I still think Canada's a better team than South Africa, but if South Africa can get a result versus South Korea, they can definitely get one against Canada. I'm sure of it. That's going to be a game to watch for, especially for, both of these teams trying to get to the round of 16, something historic for their nations. Huge, huge. I'd love to see it. We'll see what happens. Morocco locked in here on Group C as the second place team. They'll probably get the Netherlands. That'll be a big clash. I keep saying it. I'd hate to see either one of those teams go home so early. But man, what a clash for the round of 32. What a treat. We'll keep going down. Bosnia looks to be locked in versus the U.S. I think the U.S. are qualified as their group winners. I'm not too sure about that, but I'm almost positive they are because they beat Paraguay and they beat Australia, and Turkey are already eliminated. So off of the head-to-head qualifier, they should be locked into this place. And yeah, Bosnia and Herzegovina locked in. So this is probably locked in. Tough matchup for Bosnia. Look, I'm back in the U.S. to make the quarterfinals here. So when I see this, I think the U.S. win this, but it'll still be a great game for Bosnia, especially so historic for their country. And then we could talk about South Korea, who might not even be here. But man, they low-key got away with one, I think. Because previously, they were kind of up here, I think, with South Africa. And, I think they would have taken a game versus Canada over Egypt. Although it's not that big a gap between the two. Depends how you feel. Maybe they're about the same. But this Egyptian side has been very good this tournament, getting that draw versus Belgium and beating New Zealand. So this Egypt team is in good form. We'll see if South Korea survive. If they end up in this spot, who knows? But man, South Korea is just, it's hard to predict, man. Where will they end up? Really? On the other hand, Brazil and Japan locked in here. Brazil is for sure the gonna be here as the winner of Group C. Now we don't know about Japan because Japan has to face Sweden. If they win that game, they might stay there. If they don't, we'll see what happens. Could be Sweden in this spot, could be anyone. So we'll see what happens, but this is also a big clash. Would hate to see one of these teams go out so early. Although I would probably favor Brazil in that game. And then Mexico and Scotland. I don't think this. I don't think Scotland's gonna be here. I don't think Scotland's gonna be there. Scotland, I think, are cooked. It's over for them, man. It's just so much against them. There's so much that has to go right, and I don't know if it will. But Mexico locked into the spot, and most likely locked in to a round of 16 matchup versus England. That's gonna be huge for England, man, because that oh my gosh, that atmosphere that Mexico will have, whew, whew. No, man. But even whoever's here, I would think Mexico would come through, unless like someone crazy falls here. Like I don't know, but we'll see what happens, man. But yeah, man, that round of 16 matchup is gonna be great. And then lastly, we're gonna talk about not Algeria, sorry, Switzerland and Algeria. And Switzerland are locked in here. Algeria, we don't know for sure because they still have to go up against Austria, and Austria face Spain. And this is kind of interesting. If you know the history between Austria and Algeria, well, there's a whole reason why we play group stage matches on the same day, and now they're here again in another match that basically can decide their bracket favorably for one team or another. It's very odd because now you'll have Switzerland, and by the time they play, they'll probably know if Spain is going to be in this spot. So now you're like, okay, well, if I go to third place, there's a good chance I could get Switzerland. Now, the way the third place teams work, it's still a little bit weird I think you can still actually switch them around if you're still in third place. You might not be locked into this spot specifically, but I digress. It is a very weird situation. Anyway, that's how the bracket's looking like. Look, man, it is the beginning of the end here. First day of match day 3. It's do or die. It is win or go home. The drama is heating up. Thank you guys again for watching. Again, make sure you guys follow, like, and subscribe. You know where to find me in the description. Also, make sure you guys comment, man. I love to debate. Hit me up on the Twitter. Hit me up in the YouTube comments. You know I'm going to reply. Thank you guys again so much for watching. It's been your boy, Ali Fuddy. Until next time, we out.